Hello everyone and welcome back guys to episode 13 of our F1 2020 My Team Career Mode, where today we're here back for actually the Grand Prix that's happening this weekend. Here we are then, ready in Hungary. The team just saying we've got a little bit of extra money in the books at the moment, so I might try and go with, we're going to go with the resource points generation upgrade. So now we should be getting 160 R&D points a week, which is rather useful to have. Any upgrades we can put on the car this weekend as well. At capacity, maybe we can get another chassis upgrade on. Let's have a look. Yeah, we'll go with the heave dampers minor upgrade. We've barely got enough R&D points for that, but we'll give it a whirl. That should be ready by the 31st of August, so we have still got a few more upgrades getting ready there. You can see we've got 3 upgrades going on the car, only 2 of them sadly affect the performance, but they'll be ready in the early, 2 of them ready at the start of August, and then 1 of them ready right at the end of August there. So you can see at the moment though, we're still very, very much on par with McLaren and Renault, as well as Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri. Has have dropped back a little bit by the looks of it heading into this weekend, but obviously if you have missed out on any of the videos so far, make sure obviously you click the I at the top right hand side of your screens. Obviously you can go back and check out any of the races that you've missed. But Hungary, a bit of a different track to ones we've raced at recently. Hopefully that can play into our favour. Let's head in then, ready for qualifying. Coming to the end then of our first qualifying lap, just obviously a case around here, trying to keep it nice and tidy. No wheel spin, anything like that. It's going to be a 1:16. 1.2 off Danny Kvyat. The AlphaTauri's have been good on 1 lap pace recently, but that doesn't fill me with too much confidence. We might have to do all 3 runs in Q1. Here we go then, ready for our second run around the Hungarian ring. Hopefully we can try and keep it a little bit tidier this time round. We're a long way off our teammate, however I forget just how OP the AI are in Sector 3 round here. As once again we make a hash of turn 1, and that's the lap already over. Here we go then, ready for our third and final attempt here at the Hungarian ring. Hopefully this time round we can actually make it through turn 1 without almost dropping the car into a wall. We got Danny Kvyat just in the way. Luckily he's going to dodge out in towards 1. Actually find the apex that time round as well, which is nice for once. But yeah, I don't know what it is, just really, really still at the moment, qualifying pace we just seem to struggle with. As well, yeah, like I mentioned, the AI are massively overpowered in Sector 3. We're losing 6/10 to our teammate Jordan King, so we'll see what we can do on this lap. Pretty tidy run through turn 4 and into 5. Couple of tenths up, which is good to see. Try and ride the curbing as best as possible. That was pretty hooked up. I struggle for pace anyway around here. It's not a track that I particularly enjoy, unfortunately, either. It really just, doesn't suit my driving style. But anyway, down into Sector 3, using up all the exit curb there as much as possible. Final couple of corners then, just got to try and keep it nice and tidy through the hairpins. Fairly decent. Let's see if we can get a good run at the final corner. Just using the engine brake as much as possible. A lot of understeer at the final corner. We'll activate the DRS up to line. It's going to be a 5/10 improvement. But no place is found. In a 15.9 in the end there is not what we needed. So there we go then, the end of qualifying. It's going to be Jordan King sneaks through into Q2. Fair play to him. But we're a long way off in the end. 7/10 down on our teammate when qualifying is all done and dusted there for ourselves. We joined both Haas cars, Antonio Giovinazzi and both Williams, that haven't made it through into Q2. But yeah, it just seems very, very weird at the moment. The AI, like I keep saying, massively overpowered in qualifying and then don't really have the same sort of pace in the race. But this car just seems to be struggling at the moment, and we need to try and work out why.
It's race day in Budapest as we get ready for another round of the Formula One World Championship. We don't expect too many retirements at this track. There are plenty of current and former drivers with flawless finish rates here. In particular, Ralf Schumacher. He made it across the line in all 10 of his Hungarian Grand Prix starts. Located 12 miles northeast of the Hungarian capital Budapest, the 14 corners of the Hungaroring are steeped in history and prestige. Overtaking has always been difficult on this technical 2.7-mile circuit, but the last few years in particular have turned up some exceptional races. Let's hope we're in for another one here today. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Why don't we start by talking about Valtteri Bottas? That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Max Verstappen, and Albon, Perez, Ricciardo, Ocon, and Lando Norris, Sainz, Stroll, Pierre Gasly, and Kvyat, King, Raikkonen, Romain Grosjean, and Antonio Giovinazzi. Mr. Monaco, Russell, Latifi, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, we're near the back of the grid. See if you can improve your position in the race.
So, a pretty simple message then from Jeff getting ready for the Grand Prix. We need to try and make up places early on. It should be a fairly simple one-stop. The top guys are going to have to two-stop round here, so overtaking might be difficult. Maybe there's a chance of a bit of a mixed-up race then when all is said and done. But yeah, getting ready though here in Hungary for the start of this race. We're going to quickly just up the front wing slightly. Parc Fermé doesn't seem to have enabled for whatever reason, but we're going to stick to Parc Fermé rules ready for the start of this race. But yeah, we're going to put just under 2 laps of spare fuel in as well. Hopefully that should keep us going nice and tidily towards the end. In fact, I might bring a little bit more out. We'll aim to be quick off the start. But I think I'm as ready as I'll ever be then, ready for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're up 1 spot because of Magnussen's pens. Can't see that making too big a difference in this Grand Prix, but you never know. The 5 lights coming on then here in Hungary. These 5 red lights is lights out, and away we go. A lot of wheel spin off the start there as we actually make contact with Magnussen, so he's straight back past us before we even get down in towards turn 1. We're going to switch to the inside, nice and aggressive somehow. Able to find a lot of space, straight into P14. Can't complain about that. We've got someone turning in on us. That's the AlphaTauri Gasly off the exit of turn 1. Can we potentially hook it up around the outside through the hairpin of turn 2? Daniel Ricciardo style? Yes, we can. And we hold on to P14 then, so that's been a mega start for ourselves as we now head down into Sector 2. It seems the Renaults are battling out, Constantina and everything up just a little bit. This is probably going to be quite a tough race now on F1 2020 with the dirty air. Really going to affect the cars coming through Sector 2. But end of lap 1 though, Hamilton leads the way. He needs a good result here. Obviously, Charles Leclerc, another man who needs a good result this weekend because he's got both Seb and the Mercedes trying to hunt him down in the title fight here, and they've all made such inroads on Paul Charles Leclerc over the second third of this championship. But we've held on to P14 in the end. Everyone around us appears to be trying to do the one-stop just like we are. I just feel, obviously now, it's probably going to be a case of seeing how it plays out when the top guys start to pit, because they'll be wanting to try and make a bigger gap as possible so they don't get stuck in traffic. I'd completely forgot as well, this was obviously the track back during the Haas Road to Glory, where I think back in Season 1 we claimed our one and only ever Formula 1 race win on the F1 2019 career mode, so maybe that's a bit of a good omen for us today. It was in very different conditions.
You can use overtake to get past.
F1 2020 seems there's no sign of rain this weekend in Hungary, and obviously the 2019 series, there was a pretty damp track, which really did help us out on that day, but wet weather doesn't seem to suit this car as much as the old 2019 has, so yeah, perhaps we can't look too much at the past. I'm actually quite surprised so far. We've been able to hang on there or thereabouts with Lance Stroll, but I've noticed why the AI is so OP around here. The grip they seem to be able to get off a couple of corners is absolutely incredible. I'll see if we can get close enough to Stroll. Watch through here him attack this curb. You can see he's all over that curb and on the inside. And he can put the power down and it rotates the car through. If you hit that, you're going round. It's just not possible for a human to be able to do. So, yeah, Hungary, rather a challenge, I'll be honest. But let's keep our head down, not worry about the hacks that Lance Stroll has on his racing point. Nice grip hacks, mate. Let's just focus on trying to get to our first pit stop. Oh, first pitter's coming in then. It's one of the Ferraris and one of the McLarens. So Lando's in, as well as I think it's Seb for Ferrari. This is also, I forgot to mention, the first race we're doing on the new patch on F1 2020. Finally, version 1.03 has come to Xbox. But there you go, Stroll's now up into 10th place, and Seb, well, it looks like the top runners are all going to get stuck in a lot of traffic. Nowhere near, well, you can see actually on the minimap, the Red Bulls have barely pulled out sort of a 3-4 second gap over Perez up the road. So not ideal for them. Oh, even more people diving into the pit lane. This time around we got Kvyat and Ocon, I should say. And a lot of the front runners. So yeah, they're all going to be stuck in traffic now, which is good for us, because there's the potential we could get a little bit more out of this. Because that's a bit late into one. Albon dives it in, so we've still got, I think it's Hamilton, out in the lead of this Grand Prix. I don't know if he's on a set of mediums as well or what, but he's still out there trying to take those well, whatever they are, as far as possible. So maybe a bit of a split strategy. This could work out really well for the Mercedes driver. Or not very well at all. You can see everyone else on the minimap now, sat behind, I think it's the Haas of Magnussen. So, all to play for. On to lap 12, and there's not really any doubt in my mind that Hamilton then is on the same strat as a lot of us in the midfield. However, if you look on the minimap, still, the top runner's not able to get around the Haas of K-Mag. So, Hungary, always known as Monaco without the barriers, is living up to its name at this stage of the race, and this could work out really, really well for those of us who were just outside the top 10 at the start. Stroll's starting to pull away a little bit from us, however, we're making a bit of a gap from Gasly behind. So all just simmering down. Lap 14, I think we've definitely got past the best of these tyres. The wear's not looking too bad, but the temps are starting to struggle. So we'll see if we can just keep it calm, but we're either going to dive in end of this one or end of the next one. But Hamilton, though, this is working out really well for him, as still the rest of the top runners not able to get through the mid-pack. Everyone else around us is staying out for at least one more, so we're going to have to try and do it as well. Pace actually hasn't fallen off that badly. Teammates 8.3 back, as that's a bit late into one. But yeah, pace hasn't fallen off too much at the moment. We're still sitting close to our PBs, but we're definitely going to need to pit the end of this one. Coming to the end of lap 15, though, Hamilton is into the pit lane, so we've definitely made the right call by saying we're coming in the end of this one. We've just got to hope, or we shouldn't get held up, but we just got to hope and make sure we don't. Perez is staying out there. Oh, sorry, Stroll is even, I should say. I don't know why I keep getting teammates wrong at the moment. So is Sainz, actually, so that's rather surprising. As I almost get confused there, pit lane seems to have changed on F1 2020. So Hamilton's going to rejoin pretty much in the lead of the Grand Prix. There we go. Straight back up into the lead. So he's got a pretty plain sailing run to the end. But it's now a case of seeing what everyone else does. And are we going to collect some free air as well? It's looking good. We might just be out just behind the Renault of Ocon. And he's on medium, so he's going to have to obviously make another stop as well. It's all looking alright at the moment. There might be a top 10 on the cards here, mainly through strategy. Load more of the AI. Probably going to be diving into the pits the end of this one then, so we should move ourselves nicely back up the order. But now are some critical laps in this race, because if we get a safety car, all our good progress could very, very easily be undone. There's Gasly, so we haven't lost out any places. But yeah, we just got to now, we spend most of the time praying for a safety car in this series. Now we've got to pray we don't get one. Oh, how the tables have turned.
Okay, some information on signs. They seem to have an issue.
Oh, Jeff just coming over the radio saying Sainz has got issues as Hamilton knew fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Maybe there's another spot to be had. We've noticed the engine warning though is up. clearly something on the car is very, very worn out, as we've got a few more people into the pits. So we should be up another couple of spots in this race, but now it's a case of waiting for all the medium runners to pit. Gonna be back up into P12. There's Ocon in 11th. So, even before the pit stops have played out, we're not far off the points. It's looking good.
This pace is strong, but be aware your tyres need to go the distance.
Big battle going on between the McLaren pair, as it appears Sainz is trying to hang on for all his worth at the moment. As they head out of the first few corners, they almost go 3 wide up in towards turn 4. Don't want to be doing that, as Ocon's going to sit on the exit of the corner. And yes, Sainz is really, really struggling here. Can we try and potentially make a move on Ocon? Sadly not, no grip out there. But yes, Sainz really, really struggling at the moment, so if we can try and get past him and maybe Stroll, could be some extra points on the board. Definitely worth it. As you can see now, we're just a bit worried about, obviously, the Mercedes, Ferraris and Red Bulls. All now have got about a 6-lap window where they need to make up as much time as possible before they have to pit again. We need to try and get a run on Ocon out of these final couple of corners. Oh, the Renault just so slow on the entry, but then they just able to find the grip. Hello? Wheel? Work, maybe? There we go. Not too sure what that was all about, but hopefully we can get back in. There we go. Racing once again here. Unfortunately, it's kind of killed the spirit and the momentum, but Stroll's now going to go on Sainz. We're going to have to go for the big boy send on Ocon. Up the inside we go. He tries to turn in, but we make the move work, and we're now up another spot in this Grand Prix. We need to try and get past Sainz, however, before we head into Sector 2. Hopefully we can try and get a run off the next couple of corners. Through the final corner, let's just see how much Sainz is struggling then. He's got some DRS on Stroll, and there are the first few of the pitters, so we're up into 8th place in this Grand Prix. We are now back up into the points here at the Hungaroring, but Sainz doesn't seem to be struggling much anymore, which is not so good for us, because I would have liked another place out of it. But maybe he's just getting carried a bit by Stroll's DRS. One more Ferrari into the pit lane. Who's that? Charles Leclerc. So we are going to have a lot of fast cars coming up behind us in the latter stages of this race. But like we've seen before, Hungary, there's worse tracks to try and defend at. As long as we've got enough power down the straights, we might be able to do something. Let's just keep our head down and focus on some consistency. Seb, new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He's clearly pushing still. And it's not the best sight in the world, what you want to see of the car going behind you, but I think he's taken about 1.5 seconds out of us. Probably, actually, no, it'll be way more than that in the last lap. Probably over 2 seconds, so it's not going to be long unless Gasly can do a bit of a worldie for us. It's not going to be long, yeah, before we got the Ferrari all over our gearbox, as that was a bit too much curve through there. Charles Leclerc now setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 1 lap later. But come on, Gasly. Come in clutch, help us out. About 10 laps to go then of this Grand Prix. I'm wondering whether the Red Bulls and Bottas have tried to jump onto the one-stop strategy, because they're still out here at the moment, and the Ferraris did pit a long time ago. Yellow flags out. Don't say it's Hamilton. From a huge lead in the Grand Prix, it looks like Hamilton is out of the Hungarian Grand Prix. That must be heartbreaking
reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up.
Safety car out though here at Hungary, and well, Lewis Hamilton, he has dominated this race weekend so far. He had such a huge advantage, the win was basically in the bag, but reliability issues for the top runners has once again plagued them. But safety car for us doesn't really help us out too much, but doesn't hopefully do too much damage either.
Okay, let's get ready to go racing again.
Late call then. The safety car is going to be coming in the end of this one. We've got 7 to go here in Hungary, and I think for us the first lap is going to be the most critical. Cold rubber might give Seb a bit of a chance on us. We're never particularly good off the restarts, but Seb's got much fresher, much quicker tyres and a much quicker car. Let's see if we can just try and hang on out the final turn. A lot of wheel spin on the exit, but we should, with a bit of luck, he's definitely gaining on us. Maybe we're not safe on the run down towards turn 1. We're going to go defensive. Just try to hang him out to dry. There we go. We've given Gasly an opportunity back at the inside. So Gasly now, you better act as our wingman from now until the end, buddy, because we all want points at the moment. You can see Stroll is in for, I think, what would be his best result of the season. Sainz, surely that would be right up there with one of his best results. I can't remember if he was 4th or 5th at France, but Bottas now, this is a prime position for him to take a lot of points out of Charles Leclerc as well. Oh, Sainz just starting to make a few little mistakes with 5 to go here. It's just getting a little bit squirrely with those rear tyres, but yeah, we seem to be able to apply a lot more pressure than we're getting at the moment. Gasly is coming in clutch at this stage of the day. 5 to go here from the Hungaroring. DRS has now been enabled. Could we think about going for a send on Sainz? Make a lot of inroads on him down in towards turn 1, but can't get the power down on the exit. Let's see. I mean, we've already had, what, 2 5th place finishes, I think, so far this season? Might have just been the one back at Monaco. But let's see if we can match that, if possible. Maybe if Stroll struggles, there's P4 on the cards here, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves just yet. 5 to go here from the Hungaroring. Can we hold on and potentially attack for a bit more?
These tyres.
3 laps to go then here from Hungary, and it's all spicing up for P4. Stroll is really struggling on those tyres, so we're pressuring Sainz, and Sainz is pressuring the Racing Point as well. Gasly helping us out behind, still holding up the Ferrari. Let's see. We just need one opening on Carlos Sainz here. Maybe then Stroll might be a bit easier to overtake, because obviously he hasn't got any DRS at the moment. So obviously we're closing in on Sainz down the straight, just as he's closing in on Stroll. We need something to happen, but we just don't quite know what yet.
Yellow flag.
Oh, yellow flags. Who's struggling as we make a hash of the final corner of Sector 2? It's one of the Red Bulls, who now is dropping to the wayside in this Grand Prix. I think it's Albon. Don't know for sure though, but we just 1 lap from home. Albon is going to lose out on what might have been his first Formula 1 podium. That must be heartbreaking for the Red Bull, but it moves us now up into P5 of the Grand Prix. We've lost so much time to Sainz, though, at the final couple of corners. I don't think Gasly's going to be able to get close enough to go for anything down in towards turn 1. If anything, we've just helped Gasly out from the cars behind one more time in this race, as he actually thinks about going for a bit of a sniff up the inside off the exit of the first corner, but Sainz and Stroll now have been able to pull away. This is looking very likely like it's going to be Stroll's second ever Formula 1 podium. I don't think anyone would have predicted that coming into this, but let's see if we can try and get just a little bit closer to the pair of them. Maybe, you know, this race clearly isn't over just yet as we clip the curb there. In fact, as much of that curb as I'd ever want to get to. Down through the chicane, that's a lot of curb, I'm going to be honest. Somehow got away with that. But down in through the S's one final time. Trying to get the car rotated through, trying to keep it planted. We're a little bit stronger than the AlphaTauri behind through all of there, but in towards the final few corners, it looks like it's going to be Bottas who's going to get another win on the board. I don't know if that's 2 or maybe 3. No, it is just 2 in a row. Obviously, Ferrari won back at Austria. But Bottas is going to make even more inroads on his title rivals. Max Verstappen is going to come through for a good P2. Stroll is going to come through for P3. And we are going to equal our best result of the season. That I'm very happy with.
We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. So, let's review the drivers' standings. This result narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern-day Formula One.
Let's move on to the constructors. Our championship leaders retain their position, but their lead is shrinking. Meanwhile, good work from the owner drivers team this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
So there we are then, the end of the Hungarian Grand Prix, and it is Bottas making it 2 wins in a row for Mercedes. I'm sure he's very, very happy with that, and a lot of points taken out of his title rivals there. Verstappen, good to see him back on the podium. I think it's been a few races since we've seen either of the Red Bulls up there, in all honesty. Lance Stroll, though, second podium for Racing Point so far this year, and the second ever for the Canadian driver. I'm sure he's ecstatic with that result at the end of the day. You know, qualifying outside the top 10 did have its uses in that one there. As you can see, Sainz as well up in P4. He managed to battle through those engine issues. I think they resolved themselves fairly quickly. Obviously to pick up 12 points, another P4 for McLaren there. With myself in 5th, we equalled our best result of the season. We can be very, very happy with that, especially from 19th on the grid. We seem to have a bit more pace in the Grand Prix that allowed us to hang on, and obviously that was quite critical at the end of the day there. Gasly picking up brilliant points as well for AlphaTauri, so that is 4 sort of the smaller teams picking up very, very big points there at the end of the Grand Prix. Seb down in 7th and Charles Leclerc down in 8th is not the day Ferrari wanted. 6 and 5 points for those two drivers there, as Grosjean picks up a couple of points for Haas. And then my teammate Jordan King doubles his points haul so far this season as well, with 10th at the end of the day. A very, very good job done by him. So it was only us and Ferrari that got both cars into the points. So that really does go to say it all at the end of the day there. You can see both Alphas just missed out. Perez, Ricciardo, Norris, Magnussen, Ocon, Kvyat, Russell, Latifi. And then 2 big hitters, Albon and Hamilton, both not making it to the checkered flag there when all is said and done. Hamilton looks set to win that race. Albon looks set to get his first Formula 1 podium. It's not a good day at the office for either of those drivers. Title-wise, though, you can see the only swap up towards the top was Bottas, now up into P2 there, so he's now the man that looks like he can take the title fight to Charles Leclerc there. 4 points ahead of Sebastian Vettel now. Hamilton, 35 back there. He's actually now closer to Verstappen, if I'm not mistaken, than he is. There's a couple of points in it either way, but Verstappen, yeah, starting to get back into the swing of things as well there. Albon still in 6th there. Lando Norris a few points clear of ourselves there. Sainz moves past Perez just behind us as well. They see Stroll with that good result moves past Raikkonen and Ocon there, and Gasly moves past Giovinazzi and his teammate there, and Grosjean in the battle of the Haas cars moves back past Magnussen as well. So a lot of swapping around in the midfield there. And constructors wise, we re-jump into P6 ahead of Renault here. How long it'll last, who knows, but hopefully we can just try and keep on with some good momentum there. We really, really did need that result here today. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, do make sure you get yourself subscribed, because we will be back tomorrow. Oh boy, for my favourite track in Formula 1, we head to Spa. You guys do not want to miss it. This video was helped made possible by our first channel member. A big, big thank you to the Travesty for becoming a member of our channel. You can join him and be featured on these end clips as well as a few other exclusive perks for just £1 a month by clicking the join icon below.